Hey everyone. So I wanted to drop in here and talk about three things. One, some impact that has happened recently, a story that I haven't told you much, if not ever, or at least pieces of it, and then some great updates and a gift that was given to us today. So one, I was having a conversation with somebody I've been working with lately last night, and this conversation turned fast. And it turned fast because I was not paying attention previously to what was happening in this person's life. And it became very clear. So this person is like another coach like us, and I've been helping this person try to work on their coaching practice, get more clients. And it came to the realization yesterday that what was happening had nothing to do with his skills and ability, like most coaches, and myself included. However, he has things happening in his life, in his world, that he hasn't addressed. And so, if you're going to be a powerful coach, you can't coach somebody on something that you aren't doing yourself. That's fraud. That's fraud. And so, if you haven't dealt with the things in your life that you need to deal with, and in this particular case, it was dealing with his in laws. And I know all about that. I mean, again, my wife being Cambodian for years, her and I both struggled with the in-laws. I struggled dealing with learning how to adapt to the Cambodian culture. She struggled learning how to adapt to the Caucasian culture, my Catholic family culture, and how they work. And so I get it. I get it. We've had to go through this firsthand. And this particular person, as we started talking yesterday, it became very clear that that was what was holding him back. His in-laws and his relationship with his in-laws is what is literally holding him back from his success in coaching. And the look on his face was amazing. He's like, I never thought about that. And I said, I didn't either. However, now that we're having this conversation, I promise you, if you address those things, your coaching world is going to be blowing up. Now we went through a lot more than that. I'm not going to get into the details. That's for him and I. However, coming to that realization, that light bulb moment, is one of those things that we love as coaches. One of the things we thrive for. When you see that light bulb go off in a client's eyes or somebody working with eyes, it's like hitting that one good golf shot. You can be the shittiest golfer in the world, but you hit that one good golf shot, and you're like, "This is what keeps me coming back for more." It's very similar. When you see that light bulb go off, it's like, "This is why I do this. This is why we continue." And it was cool. So we'll see updates later. We'll see how this turns out. However, there's some actions that we took out of that call last night, and we'll see how it works out. However, I 100% know that when that is addressed, this person will explode and you will know exactly who it is. So the second thing that I have not shared very often. Most of you out there know that we have four kids. Anika and I have four kids together. And what I haven't shared very much, in fact, I've normally only shared it in private. I don't think I've actually ever publicly shared this, is that of the four kids, only our son is Anika and I's together. The two oldest girls, who are 28 and 29 now, those are actually our nieces. Those are our nieces that we took in when they were 9 and 10 years old and raised them as our own. Now, when I say we, in the earlier years, Anika did most of the work. That's a whole other story of who Tony was back then. Tony today is not Tony back then. However, we're still a two-parent household. It was still her and I, and we still had that family unit going. And they are my girls. Regardless of whether they're my nieces or not, they are my kids. I call them my kids. I say my girls. And then we have a daughter who is my stepdaughter, but she's my daughter. She lost her dad. Her dad passed away when she was like around 2 years old. So she doesn't really have much memory of her dad. I came into her life when she was 4. She started calling me daddy when she was 5, a year later, and then of course, Marcus, we had together. So I'm 45 years old and we've got 4 children between the ages of 17 and 29. And all of these kids, the two oldest girls, both went to college, doing amazing. Melinda, the third one, she's in college now, still doing amazing. She's a supervisor at Starbucks, going to college for business administration. Marcus is a senior in high school. These kids would not have had the opportunities that they had if they had stayed in that situation. Especially the two nieces. They were in a not so great neighborhood with not very great parents who, I can't say they were unfit like drugs or alcohol or anything like that. Well, maybe a little bit, but they knew that they weren't going to provide the best for their kids. So they asked us to step in. And we did. Big time. And now these kids call us their parents. Even though they don't call us mom and dad because they do have a mom and dad, they do. When they talk about, hey, my parents did this with me, my parents did this, they're talking about us. And we know that. And the oldest has two kids. We have two grandkids, Sophia and Raphael, 4 and 7. Again, 45 years old with two grandkids that are 4 and 7. I'm not saying this for any other reason than just to share, because I haven't really shared this part. I've lived in fear many of years, thinking that maybe this would show that, oh, I'm arrogant or I'm trying to boast about what I've done. No, no. These are all my kids. These 4 kids, I love every one of these the same, equally. I love these kids. We've raised each and every one of them. We used to go camping once a month when we lived in Washington. So I want to make sure and get that out there because I haven't really shared that much. You know, most of you see the interactions I have with Marcus now because the 3 girls are grown. They're all grown and living with their significant others or their husband or boyfriends. And so they're not really in the picture much. I post pictures when we're with them. However, they have moved out and are living their lives. They're adults. They're self-sufficient. Who can ask for more? From 25 to 29, that they've all got careers going. They're all doing well. It's a great thing. So when you see Marcus and I, don't forget that there's 3 other girls. He's just the last one in the house. That's all it is. So I've never really shared that before. I still remember the day when Anika and I flew to Arizona, rented a minivan, and picked up these 2 girls, Stephanie and Tiffany, when they were 9 and 10 years old, and drove from Phoenix, Arizona, all the way back to Seattle, Washington, with luggage, with clothes, with everything in hand, welcoming them into our home as our own. And they recognize that. We recognize that. And we are a family. And we always have been. So I never really shared that much publicly. And now I am. So now for the other update. The other update, which is actually an amazing gift. And when I talk about this, you're going to go, how's that a gift? Well, hear me out because it is a gift, even though it doesn't sound like it. So Anika's been working second shift, and I'm not going to name the company because to protect the guilty. She's been working second shift and bringing in some extra income, which is cool. We've been taking care of some stuff financially. And today, and she was working as a contract employee. She wasn't actually a regular permanent employee. And today they called her and said she's no longer needed. Basically, she got laid off with no notice, just like, you're done, don't come back. And when I went to talk to my coach about this, step back. So if you haven't read or listened to the Mental Toughness Mantras by Chris Doris, aka CD, you need to. And there was a chapter in there where he talks about how to perceive everything as a gift. His refrigerator went out and his freezer went out and he lost like a lot of money worth of high price steaks. And he spent about 10 seconds being upset about that. And he looked at the gift. Well, cool. The gift is now I'm going to get a new fridge. I'm going to get new food, etc. And so today when Anika told me about this, I was the same way. I was about 10 seconds of, oh God. And then I was like, no, here's the gift. The gifts. One, Anika was miserable at this place. Miserable. Her boss's boss was overbearing, pushing too hard, doing too much, asking for too much, more than they should have. And she was miserable. And my wife is like happy all the time. Every place she's ever worked, she's always enjoyed the people, the place, the thing. This is the first time I've ever seen her miserable at a job. So that means it's probably pretty bad. So one, she was miserable. Cool. Check. Gone. Awesome. Now she can be happier. Two, she was working second shift. I barely ever saw her. Now she's going to be home more, and I get to spend more time with my lovely wife, my amazing wife. Lovely, amazing, all the above. And three, it forces me to go, not forces me, but nudges me to go more all in with this coaching school, the Ankush Jain AJC coaching school that I'm enrolled in, and my coaching practice, and my own career. All of these are gifts. So whereas a lot of people will go, oh my God, woe is me. I just lost X number of dollars a month by getting laid off, or my wife we lost X number of dollars because no, stop it. Stop it right there. Because there is a gift in everything. There is a gift in this. There are gifts, as I just described, in this. We have been given the gift for her to find a place to be happier. Whether it happens tomorrow, next day, next year, it doesn't matter. She has an opportunity to be happier. I have the opportunity, my son and I have the opportunity to spend more time with my wife, his mother. And I have the opportunity to get even more all in on my coaching practice and the coaching school that I'm enrolled in. So when something pops up in your world where you're worried and it's frustrating and you're like, God, darn it, how did this? Stop for a second and look for the gift that is being given you, because I guarantee there is a gift there. There is a gift. However, if you sit there and you pull out the victim card all the time and say, woe is me, this happened to me, instead of how can I use this, or where is the positive out of this, then you're lost. So find the positive, find the gift. Throw the victim card out the window. Find the gift. Find out, because there is one in everything. People talk about glasses half full, glasses half empty. Well, guess what? You have to find a way to fill your glass and then serve from the overflow from your cup. And if your glass is half empty because you're playing the victim card of, woe is me, this just happened to me, you're not going to do that. Fill your cup, then overflow your cup. Find the gift. So that's what I got for you today. So we covered a lot today. Today we covered about the conversation I had with my client, the person I'm working with. We covered the situation with the kids that we've raised, and we covered the situation about the gift that was given about my wife being laid off. Yes, gift. Make it a great day, everyone. Always remember, never forget to be schmaltzy. Take care, my friends.